What is up, guys, and welcome back to episode number 26 now of the Leeds United career mode. This is the beginning of the playoff semi-finals in which we're taking on Wigan, trying to get ourselves into the Premier League. We've obviously got the FA Cup final very soon to come as well, pretty much straight after this. I think it's in the next episode that one will be. A word of warning for that one, though. I did try and get it out live, but when I came to editing it and stuff like that, the audio had actually messed up, and it only picked up a very slight sound, and I didn't sound loud enough in the audio, which meant I couldn't really go back and try and fix it. Tried to bump up the volume and try and make it as loud as possible, but you can't really hear my voice over the in-game volume, so it means I will be having to do that as a post-commentary as well. So unfortunately you won't get my reactions to the FA Cup final when you do see it. Apologies for that. I did try my hardest to get it live to you guys, but again, I didn't know until after I'd gone to edit the footage that had happened. Otherwise I would have replayed it and tried to do it again. But anyways, enough about that. You're going to see it in the next episode, and yeah, hopefully you'll still enjoy it, even if it is a post-commentary anyway. So, taking on Wigan Athletic here for the semi-final, the first leg of the playoffs, trying to get ourselves into that playoff final, which coincidentally will be at Wembley as well. So we're going to have 2 trips to Wembley in the space of about a week in game time. So, very interesting to see how we play at Wembley, if the pressure will get to us there in the bigger ground. Obviously, we've played at Wembley once before against Chelsea, and we managed to knock them out at penalties there. So that was very nice to see that we were able to do it at Wembley once before. But a final is a very different story to a semi-final, as we did have a semi-final coming up here against Wigan, which was an interesting one, this one, because I didn't expect to see Wigan in the playoffs come the end of the season. I was expecting to see one of the sides that came down from the Premier League, which is Newcastle. They are in here. In terms of form, they didn't probably deserve to get in here at the start of the season, but they picked it up towards the back end and managed to get themselves into the playoffs. I think the other team in there is Wolves as well that Newcastle are actually playing against. We have Wigan. I wasn't expecting Wigan to be here. I was expecting it to be sort of a derby, possibly even a Chef Wednesday, but I don't actually know where Chef Wednesday finished. I know they had a bad start to the season, but credit to Wolves and Wigan for getting themselves into the playoffs, as it was us, Wigan, Wolves and Newcastle United fighting it out for the chance to play at Wembley. And obviously 2 sides can only go through to play in that Wembley final. As you can see the 2 lineups there on your screen. This was the side we named. Antonsen starts up front with Dallas. It's a bit of a weaker side than I would have liked to have played, but the only issue for that is I had to make sure that we didn't get any injuries in this one. I wanted to make sure we didn't get injured. I wanted to make sure we had players fit for the FA Cup final when it does come around, because it's pretty much straight after this. I think we've got this game, then a semi-final, the second leg, pretty much a week's time, and then within 4 days of that, we have the FA Cup final. So I had to sort of think about fitness. So I did play Joel Green today, begging that he didn't get injured, because if he got injured, I'd have been so screwed for that FA Cup final. But luckily in this game, he didn't get injured, as I spoiled it for you guys there. But nevertheless, we did take on Wigan as the game kicked off here. 39 minutes into it. Antonsen has the first chance. He gives it into Joel Green. Joel Green back to Antonsen. At this point, I'm thinking, right, well, we've got to score this. Nice a bit of footwork to get past his man there, Antonsen, pretty easily. Honestly, it was poor defending from the Wigan man. Just let us go through. I suppose he was trying not to bring us down because he didn't want to risk a red card. But Antonsen fires his shot wide of the post. As soon as that happened, I made a change. I took off Antonsen. I brought on Chris Wood. I was like, no, you can't miss a chance like that in a game like this and still expect to be on the pitch. So we took him off, brought on Chris Wood and said, bye-bye, Antonsen. And that is just poor from you. Had such a good run of form towards the back end of the championship season, and I was expecting him to finish that, but he didn't. As we set through, Pablo Hernandez, Mr. Consistent, 44 minutes into this game. And how about that from the captain on the day? Pablo Hernandez absolutely thumps this one into the bottom corner. Lovely ball by Joel Green as he gets taken out there at the back of that one. But when he plays in Pablo Hernandez, Pablo has so much work to do. Beats the defender for a little bit of speed and gets into a good goal-scoring opportunity. Smashes it back across the goalkeeper and into that bottom corner, courtesy of the side net. And I do have to say, it was close to going wide, that one, but thankfully it didn't. It nestled in the bottom corner of the goal, and we led Wigan by a 1-0 in the playoffs' first leg, which was very, very nice to see. Like I said, though, Pablo Hernandez had a lot of work to do when he got into that position. We should have made it 2-0 here, 61 minutes in, as Chris Wood thankfully gets the ball back after Dallas made the tackle, but it could only fire his shot straight at the goalkeeper pretty much. So 74 minutes into the game, Wigan should have been 1-1 back in this one as they create a chance. Very poor defensively from me. Oh no, sorry, we got on the counter-attack as the next chance you're going to see as Chris Wood sets down the line, I do believe, Joel Green. Joel Green into Chris Wood, back to Dallas, and this really should have been Wigan 0, Leeds United 2. But as you can tell, Stuart Dallas missed the chance as Adam Bogdan saved it in the Wigan goal. I could not believe it at the time. I remember I was screwing. I was saying, I can't believe Stuart Dallas had just missed his chance. He was so close. Look at that. The elbow of Bogdan, key denying us the second goal and what would have been sent us home cruising with a 2-0 aggregate lead had we have scored that. But unfortunately, Bogdan made a very good save. And the corner ended up coming to nothing, as you're going to see as I make the foul there, unfortunately, and didn't manage to do it. But that was how the first leg would finish. So he managed to pick up a 1-0 victory in the first leg of the playoff semi-final. Very nice to see, away from home as well. So going into the second leg, I had a little bit more confidence in myself. Wigan didn't really have anything going forward. They had a lot of possession of the ball, but they just honestly didn't do anything with it. My defence was quite good on the day. I felt confident in defending as Wolves and Newcastle played out a 2-2 draw at Wolves, so they're going to the second game, and it's a bit more entertaining than what we had, as we only had a 1-0 victory for us. But Wolves and Newcastle there, I don't really mind who we get in the if we get to the through to the final. Obviously, I don't really mind who we do get, because at the end of the day, they both deserve their spot to be there. They're in there, and obviously one of them was in third, one of them in fourth. I mean, one of them in fourth, and one of them was in fifth. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who we get, because it's still going to be a tough opposition no matter what, as we do take them on at Wembley when it does come around. And we went into the second leg pretty much straight after the first leg, because there was nothing to do in terms of emails or even show you any training, because I didn't actually have any training. So we take them on in the second leg, coming off the back of that 1-0 victory, which we do have the aggregate lead. And as you can see there, Newcastle 2, Wolves 2, going to St James's Park, or as it's also known. Is it actually known as St James's Park? I can't quite remember. I knew a while ago it got changed to the Sports Direct Arena, but I don't know if it's still the Sports Direct Arena or if it's back at being St James's Park now. I can't even remember off the top of my head, but nevertheless about that, we actually had a 1-0 aggregate lead going into this, and I felt quietly confident. I named this side, you're going to see coming up in a second. It's much, much different from the side that got us that 1-0 lead in aggregate, and I just decided that I was going to name Antonsen up front again. He missed that chance, but I just decided, you know what, I'm going to give him a second chance. I don't want to risk Maruf or Chris Wood, because they're both in my plans in that FA Cup final when we do get to it. And we basically named a weaker side with Matt Grimes playing out on the left, Antonsen up front, and I think it was Sacco on the right. But in terms of a side, Sacco has been brilliant for us when he's come off the bench, and he deserved his spot in this one. Arguably could have been starting in that FA Cup final when we do get round to it. So I did have to think about the side and think about the FA Cup final, as it was only about 4 or 5 days in the future after this game was to be played, as they named Will Grigg. I think it's pretty much the same side that Wigan played in the last one, but 5 at the back when they're chasing a goal is not a good formation. Obviously they didn't want to concede any more than they already had done, but playing 5 at the back when you're 1-0 down and trying to chase the goal is not a smart decision. So their manager must have been feeling absolutely under pressure to name 5 at the back. He must have thought that we were going to go on and score 3 or 4 here today to name 5 at the back, which is a bit weird, because if it was me, knowing that I'm 1-0 down, and if it was my board, I wouldn't be very happy with my manager had he have named a 5 at the back formation, as we are chasing the game anyway. So pretty much when I saw that, I was like, you know what, this is gonna be easy, because they've set 5 at the back, so there's literally no point in even attempting to even score. As long as I don't get counter-attacked, I'll be fine, because I'll only have about 4 or 5 attackers at any one time, as they did have 5 at the back. Obviously with wing-backs it's a bit more difficult trying to get yourselves into a goal-scoring position, and obviously with 5 at the back it makes it even more harder to break them down. But you don't need to break them down when on 17 minutes a midfielder can do this for you. Absolutely unbelievable strike by O'Kane, and I have to say, that has got to be the goal of the series so far. When we finish the series, I'll be making the top 10 goals of the series. I won't be doing a goal of the season, because obviously it's a bit more sort of... it sort of requires you guys to sort of put your input, and at the moment my channel isn't big enough to be able to do that. But when we hit the end of the season, the series, I will be making the top 10 goals of the series, and that one will definitely be in there. I'll show you it from a different angle coming up here. That is an unbelievable strike from O'Kane, as he makes it Leeds United 1, Wigan Athletic 0 in this game. Second leg, it puts us 2-0 up on aggregate. Just look at that for a strike from our central midfielder. He's not even a starting midfielder, and he's doing stuff like that. Crazy effort from O'Kane. I absolutely love that goal. It was probably my favourite goal I've scored on FIFA so far, and that was just an unreal way to get the opening goal in this one, as we made it Leeds United 2, Wigan Athletic 0 on aggregate. And just as I said about the 5 at the back formation, they were chasing the game. Now they have to chase it even more, as they did create a big chance for themselves in the 27th minute to get themselves into it, but it was a good save in the end by, I do believe it was Rob Green in the goal for us, as we managed to clear the ball away with Diarraga in the end. Then we managed to get another chance for ourselves. Matt Grimes going down the left-hand side, 17 minutes into the game. At this point, I was playing on defensive. None of my players really made a run for me, so I was thinking with Matt Grimes, I was going to have to hit this. As I got into a good position, Matt Grimes takes the strike on. Very good save by the Wigan goalkeeper in the end, as we get the ball back here with Sacco. Sacco's going to try and turn his man, gets the ball inside to, I think it was Eiling. Eiling tries to play the ball across, but unfortunately can't do it. As Wigan had another chance in the game. If they pull one back late on, this was going to be a tough end to the game, as they managed to get it down the right-hand side, put the cross in. It's dealt with by me, but not very well, I have to say, as we give the ball away to Will Grigg in the area. But how about that for a sliding tackle? I'm not sure who it was. I think it was Kyle Bartley in the end, denying Will Grigg the opportunity. In the 90th minute, as Wigan committed men forward, like I said, they had 5 at the back, so they did need to try and chase the game. Sacco went on an absolutely wonderful run past the defence, cut them open, and finished it into the bottom corner to deny Wigan any chance of getting themselves back into this game, as it made it 3-0 on aggregate, and we were already in the 90th minute as well. So this meant basically we're through to the playoff final, which is nice to see yet again, as we have 2 chances now to win a final at Wembley. We've got the FA Cup coming up, and then we have the playoffs after that as well. So the FA Cup will be the next episode, and then the playoff final will be the episode after that. That's just where the fixtures fell, so I would have liked it to be the other way around, really, because obviously I'd say the FA Cup was a bit more important than the playoffs at this current time, because it's not every day you get to play in an FA Cup final. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do it next season as well, as we are in this many competitions. I actually didn't realise as well, the winner of the FA Cup, I totally forgot, gets into Europe. So, if we can win the FA Cup, we will be playing in Europe in our first season in the Premier League if we make it there as well after winning the if we win the playoff final. So we could potentially be a championship side if we lose that final, playing in Europe if we win the FA Cup. That's crazy. But we've obviously got to try and beat Everton to be able to do that, which I'm not really expecting to do. Because again, we're going into that as underdogs, as we have done for the the last few games of the FA Cup when we're playing against Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea. We've been the underdogs. We haven't needed to win the game, but we have managed to come away with a result. And I'm thinking we could do the same against Everton, but maybe the pressure of the final might get to me. I haven't played in a final yet this FIFA 17, so we'll just see how it goes as we are coming towards the end of this episode. If you have enjoyed this episode of the Career Mode, please hit that like button, and I'll see you all for the next episode of Career Mode very soon. Adios.